Hey, it's Gabe with API Nation. Today I'm going to show you how to connect Realtor.ca to Brivity. So as soon as those leads come in from Realtor.ca, they're automatically added to Brivity. Along with the API Nation sync, we're also going to be using another tool, Mailparser.io. So we're going to set up Mailparser.io to receive the email notification about the lead, and there's an integration there that'll put it right into a spreadsheet, which can sync it into the CRM. The first step to setting up this automation is going to be creating a spreadsheet where all your leads are going to land. So we're going to open up a page here. In the address bar, you can actually just use this helpful little shortcut. It's spreadsheets.new. And if you type that in there, it's just going to create a new Google Sheet for you automatically. So there we go. It just takes you to a brand new, fresh Google Sheet. And we're going to call this New Leads from Mailparser. And then we're just going to put in header rows for information we expect from a lead. So stuff like first name, last name, email, phone, message, address, city, state, zip, and anything else you think might be coming over with your leads that you're going to want synced in eventually to your CRM. But this looks good to me. This is all the information I typically want. So now that we have this spreadsheet, we're going to go over to Mailparser.io to set up that part. Next, we're going to go to Mailparser.io, and this is a separate tool from API Nation, but I find it's really useful. What it does is those emails you get, those lead notification emails with all the information about a lead that you get, you have them sent or you automatically forward them to an email address that Mailparser is going to give you. And Mailparser is going to be able to pull out the relevant information, the name, the message, the address, the phone, the email, all that stuff, and you can have it put into a spreadsheet. So that's what we're going to do here. And if you go to the pricing page on Mailparser, you'll see there is a free account. So that's what we would use to get started. If you're getting more than 30 leads a month, or you want to do this with other apps, then consider going up to the professional version. But just to get started, we're going to go with the free version. And once you set it up, it's going to look like this. Create your first inbox. So you're going to hit this button. Go ahead and name the inbox, and you can name it something as normal as leads. You can name it after the service where the leads are coming from, whatever is going to be most helpful for you. Hit save, and there we go. It's created your email address for your inbox. And this email address, you need to do one of two things. One, you can either go to the lead service, the lead generation service, and give it this email address as a second place to send those lead notification emails. You can do that. Or you can set up a rule in your inbox, your Gmail, your Outlook, whatever you're using, so that any emails you get from your lead service automatically get forwarded to this email address. Either way, those lead notification emails you're getting need to somehow get sent to this email address. That's very important. So once you go and do that, the next thing it's asking you to do is send over some examples of what kind of emails you're expecting from your lead generation service. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to copy this to clipboard. I'm going to go over to my email inbox and forward over a couple emails. And you're going to see it's waiting for those examples to arrive. And as soon as those examples arrive, it's going to say, good news, we got your emails. So now you're going to hit select and continue to set up the parsing rules. So on this page, you're going to see some information here. It's going to show you the information about the example email, and you're going to come over here to this template area. First, you're going to go over to the category and click real estate. And then that's going to load up a bunch of different templates that might work. And actually, it looks like it looked at the email and it automatically selected Realtor.ca, which is exactly what we want. So I can go ahead and just click start with this template. Once you do that, it's going to give you a congratulations message. You did it. Go ahead and hit OK. And then it's going to start putting in those emails after they're parsed here so that you can go in and see that leads information whenever you want. So great. We've now set up the email parsing. The emails are getting forwarded to Mailparser. Mailparser is pulling out the relevant information. Our next step is to connect Mailparser to Google Sheets. So to do that, I'm going to hit integrations. And then we're going to click new integrations. And Mailparser gives you a lot of good options here as far as integrating, including a webhook, a generic webhook, which we have a separate video if you want to connect Mailparser to your app using a generic webhook. Super helpful if your app doesn't have a connection to Google Sheets like some of these CRMs. But we're going to use Google Sheets because API Nation does connect to a lot of CRMs using Google Sheets. So I'm going to use this Google Sheet integration, and these are set up per inbox. So only this one inbox is going to get this integration. If you have multiple inboxes for different lead sources, maybe you have Realtor.CA, maybe you have OpCity, maybe you have another one, all different inboxes, you're going to need to set up different integration for each of those inboxes. So let me just do this for this one. You can choose your Google account. I've connected Gabe at API Nation. If I haven't, I would hit add account and go ahead and sign in, but I've connected in the past, so it's just gonna serve it up. All right, the app is now connected. It's refreshed the page with that connection, and it's asking me to choose the spreadsheet. So I'm gonna hit this drop down, and we're looking for this spreadsheet we created at the beginning, new leads from Mailparser. So I'm gonna click on the drop down, and this is alphabetical, so I'm just gonna scroll down to N for new, LMN. There it is, new leads from Mailparser. So I'm going to click on that. And then it's going to ask for the worksheet, which is just going to be the first page because that's where we created it. Sheet 1, it chooses it automatically. Great. Last thing to do here to make this connection is the field mapping. These are the columns in Google Sheets we created earlier. And it's going to offer us some stuff from the email. So we're going to put first name there. We're going to see if there's a last name. It doesn't look like there is a last name with this lead. So we're going to skip that. We're going to put in email. We're going to put in phone. We're going to put in message and just go through and map this up. Super easy. There we go. State and zip. And again, if you're getting additional information with your leads that you want added in here, just be sure to create columns in your spreadsheet for that information. So if it's something like second email address, second phone number, buyer or seller, any of that information, just make a column for it, name it something you're going to understand, and then when you go through and do the mapping in Mailparser, it's going to offer it to you and you can just map it up with the stuff it's pulling out of the email. That's it. I'm going to hit save and test. It's going to send over that lead into my Google Sheet. Send test data. Great. There we go. Looks like it worked. So now my Mailparser inbox is taking every lead I send to it and putting it in a Google Sheet. That's great. Awesome to have that backed up. All right, and the next step is to connect Google Sheets to Brivity so that all those contacts that get added to that Google Sheet automatically get put into Brivity. So to do that, we're gonna go to apination.com. We'll click on Start Syncing. It's gonna take us to this page with all of the apps that you can connect using API Nation. I'm gonna go up to B for Brivity, click on that. It's going to show me all the apps that can connect with Brivity, including Google Sheets. So I'm going to click on that. And it's going to see a few different options here. I can send all my contacts from Brivity into a Google Sheet. That's great if I want to back everything up or if I want to get the contacts out so I can collaborate with somebody. Today, we're getting contacts from a Google Sheet into Brivity. That's what I want. So I'm going to activate that sync. And the first step to setting up the sync is to sign into your API Nation account. If you don't have one, click here and you can create one, or you can sign in with your Google account, which is what I'm going to do. Once you sign in, the next step is to go ahead and connect both the apps to API Nation. So you can see the next step is to connect Google Sheets. To do that, you would just hit the connect button. It's going to show you again the Google accounts you have available. Make sure you choose the Google account where that spreadsheet is being held. Next, we're going to connect Brivity. Very simple. Hit connect. It's going to ask you for your Brivity username, password, and a name. And the name is just, it can be your name, your team's name, just in case you're connecting multiple Brivity accounts. And then we'll put the password and hit connect. There we go. All right, just a few options here before we create our sync. First, they want the spreadsheet. They say, which Google Sheet are we connecting here? So let's go to that Google Sheet that Mailparser is syncing to. And we're gonna grab the URL up here, hit Control-C or Command-C. Go back to API Nation, hit Control-V or Command-V to paste it in there. Great. As the leads are getting added to Brivity, how do you want them marked? Do you want them marked as leads? Do you want them marked as collaborators? Probably leads. Do you want them marked as new status, hot status, nurture status? Totally up to you. I'm going to go with new. And then if you want, you can tag them. So you can tag them as hot lead here. You can tag them as warm lead. You can tag them as, whatever is going to make the most sense to you as they're getting added into Brivity. Finally, you can choose if they already exist in Brivity. Unlikely, but let's say they do. Should I overwrite the information in Brivity? Or I can check this box and say, don't overwrite it. Just add any information into blank field. So maybe I don't have a phone number and the lead comes over and it does have a phone number. It'll go ahead and add that phone number, but it's not going to overwrite anything else. I'm going to hit subscribe, and that's going to create the workflow, the sync. You can see here's the big button to activate it. It's not yet active. I'm going to do one more thing here. You can see all this information is what we just set up on that last page. There's this filter here if you want to filter exactly who's coming through the sync. For the most part, with these lead syncs into your CRM, most people don't want to filter anything. They just want to get people in there. They're paying for the lead. They want to see them in their CRM. They don't want to accidentally filter it by saying, you know, don't send in people from a certain zip code or anything like that. The more important thing here is the mapping. So you can see the information is coming over, email's going to email, phone's going to phone. Let's get the names here though. First name, last name. Is there anything else? I think we get a message. So I'm gonna put the message down here in the description. Here we go. Message, rate. And actually I think I have an address too. So I'm going to go ahead and put the address here. Address, city, zip, and this looks good. Locality, I believe that's state. Perfect. So this looks good. The last thing I want to consider is, again, I can tag it. I had that option at the top. It's also available down here. And if you choose to tag it down here, I believe it supersedes whatever tags you selected up here. So I would just use this one, but if you happen to see it down here, it's just a duplicate field. This looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and activate this thing. There we go. It's active. Now, anytime Mailparser puts a contact on that Google Sheet, a new lead, within 5 minutes, this sync will fire and put it in Brivity so that you can immediately follow up and enjoy that speed to lead. So that's it. That's how you connect Realtor.ca to Brivity. No copying, no pasting, no importing or exporting, none of that. It just happens automatically. The lead comes in, Mailparser pulls the information out, puts it in that spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet automatically updates Brivity. All that happens behind the scenes as far as you're concerned. You just open up Brivity and see the lead there waiting for you automatically so you can start creating those deals.